Hey y'all.
Hey, we back.
We are busy.
And listening to Sade.
And Bridget Renee. We are still in this blue bottle about him.
And I want to shout my girl out.
Yes.
Echo Road. Rocking another tea.
Come on now.
She know I love that olive green.
Come on, Echo Road.
Check her out, y'all. Another tea.
That's nice.
Some merch from Echo Road. Y'all better get them candles in that spray.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. All the stuff.
Also, you found a book.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, because I would have left it. So, guys, one of our last episodes talking about poverty mindset, I was trying to tell you all about the neurology plasticity. I could be saying it wrong, but just how your mind works.
Mm-hmm.
Get into it. The switch. What is it called? Switch on your brain.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you how your mind changes throughout the night, how you basically how your mind changes. I ain't gonna go into details because I'm gonna have to open the book.
Mm-hmm.
So get it for yourself, please. It also gives you Bible scriptures in here as well, and just lets you know how your mind transitions, how the neuroplasticity and everything else, neurosciences, you name it, all the neuros, tells you how your mind works and how you can shift it. Of course, overnight we generate a lot of new whatever I bring.
That's a good read, though. I can imagine. I haven't read it, but I can imagine it is because I'm very intrigued about how our mind works when we're asleep.
Yeah.
Because, like that whole thing when you jump and it feel like you're falling.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying?
All of that. And shout out to my mother-in-law because she the one who actually purchased this book as a gift to us. Thank you, because it's a great read.
That's sweet. Yeah. Okay.
It's a good book.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you how your mind works. And how it sheds certain memories at night, and you generate new cells at night. You generate new cells as you sleep at night. That's what I was trying to say, y'all.
And it makes me think about also, like not getting enough sleep. And when we don't
sleep deprived.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, I'm assuming we may not generate enough new cells.
I really don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, because sometimes I forgot. You be so. Ugh.
Yeah, you do feel cloudy like a fog too when you don't sleep enough. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, good read. Today we're talking about survival mode.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Or is the finest? Which one is it? Fittest.
I feel like it's fittest.
Yeah.
But we're from Douglasboro. We say stuff little.
Yeah.
A little twang sometimes.
Yeah, that country slang.
Yeah. So, I think that it's a clear difference with people that's raised off of survival and people that's raised off of love.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it's hard for those to coincide. And sometimes they can make the best couples, but sometimes it's just a difficult thing, primarily because you're so different.
Yeah, because one living from survival, like you said, one's living from a whole different space where they didn't have to be in survival mode. So they don't understand it. Where you coming from with your thought process, how you may maneuver with things, how you even may look at life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a tough topic.
It is a tough topic.
It is for me.
It's definitely a lot of layers to peel back from survival mode. And I mean, you'll never really understand it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know one or the other.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You can learn things over the years because we all go through that where we just learn different stuff from where we were raised. Or, whether you were raised, I don't know, in a hood and you see how people live in different environment versus, a different environment. Because, wow, you learn different things.
You learn a lot of different things. Can't judge a book by its cover.
You cannot. And I feel like growing up in Goldsboro, North Carolina, you were experienced to a lot of different things there.
Absolutely.
And I feel like you saw some of everything.
I saw it all. I was everywhere. I'm at everybody's house.
Yeah, you see it. Like, you can definitely see it. Like, you know how you grow up, right? And you're around a couple. And you're around them, and you're like, oh, they really love each other. And then you go around another couple, and you're like, yeah.
What is love, baby? Don't hurt me. Don't
right.
Hurt me.
Yeah, that's how you grow. Like when you're growing up and you visit other people's houses, you can tell. You can really tell how it is there. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah. You can tell. And it's crazy because it's something that you never stop learning.
No.
Oof. And And it can make you think about your life. I feel like the difference is when you do it as a child versus an adult. As an adult, it's easier for you to adjust and see where you want to make improvements. As a child, it's not as easy because you're being taken care of, and you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah. That's a whole different. That's what I was trying to tell my 18-year-old. Like, for real. And life can be cold. Nobody's handing you out no blanket. So for me, for survival mode, for me, just I was trying to compartmentalize so much, right? Taking care of my kids. I was a young mom, so all I knew was survival mode. Like, how I'm gonna take care of my daughter. We need a place to stay. We need something to eat. I was also like a guardian to my brother at the age of 19. He moved in with me, so I'm a parent. I'm 19 with a 2-year-old, and I also have my little brother who's like 15 who I'm looking after. And do you remember Miss Hasid? I remember going out to the school to check on his grades, and she was like, "Why are you out here checking on his grades?" I like, neither here nor there.
Right.
But let me know what's going on. And I didn't realize how much I lived in survival mode because I was so used to adapting. So it's like I'm taking care of a 2-year-old, making sure my brother has something to eat, place to stay. I ended up working 3 jobs. I was a housekeeper, I worked at Walmart, I worked at checking cash to make sure we all had clothes and something to eat. So I had to learn how to be survival of the fittest. Like, I got to do what's going to help take care of myself and my brother and my sister. Luckily, my older brother came and stepped in and moved my brother up here to Greensboro. But crazy as this may sound, it sounded like he was taking my child away from me.
Yeah.
And that's my brother. And I'm not here to like throw shade at my parents. They did the best they could with what they knew and what they had.
That's all parents do.
I just felt like I had to do that. I had to step in. Like, all right, you're going to shift over here to my space. With survival mode, again, you can't sometimes even think about your future. Like, you can't think about certain things because you have to think
right now.
Got to think about right now. Again, how I'm going to eat, where I'm going to stay, what I'm going to do. So you always just in survival mode. Once I was able to breathe and take a breath, like, okay, now I can focus on this, my hobbies. Okay, now I can focus on actually education. Now I can focus on this. Even growing up in my house, I still had to be on survival mode, be on alert with certain things where I couldn't focus in school. Because I didn't realize back then, I'm living in survival mode as a teenager, like just trying to figure certain things out and how to maneuver, what we go eat, what this and this and that. So that's why I say it's a tough subject for me because I lived in it so long that I didn't even know, like, this is survival mode. This is how I'm living.
Yeah.
So yeah, trying to compartmentalize so much and figure out how to make it.
It's crazy to hear you say that because, you know, people raise their kids differently, right? And I raised my son to where he doesn't have to know what survival mode is.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Now, could that be a hindrance? Maybe. But I'm also instilling the tools in him so that when he does grow up, he had, like, the path that I have for him, he'll be set for life. In regards to, it was a quote one day that somebody said to me, give a man a fish, he'll know how to eat that day. But if you teach a man how to fish, he'll...
For life.
Yeah. So, I'm teaching him how to fish, per se. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, teach him how to get the resources.
Yeah. So, he'll never understand that life or have to be in that mode because he knows how to fish. Like, it's a plan. Now, this plan is not like I'm forcing anything on him.
No.
These are all things that he wants to do. And from having conversations with him and understanding what he wants to do, I'm like, okay, well, this, and this, what you need to do, this, and this. And that's the beauty of being able to educate yourself so you can pass it along. You know what I mean?
That's the rich part. That's, I feel like, what makes people rich. Like we said, the poverty mindset. You're giving him the tools he needs to succeed. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you want to shower our kids with material things. Right. But you got to pour wisdom. You got to pour information to your kids. Is what you're doing. You're teaching him how to fish. Yes. That way he'd be where he need to be at for life. He'd know how to pick and choose, how to pull people. Yeah. And get what he need from people. Right. Yeah. And I think that all too often we look at other cultures, right? And we say,
oh, well, they have trust funds, or they have this and they have that. Well, it's a reason why they burn through them trust funds.
Mm-hmm.
They're not giving the knowledge. You know what I mean?
Nope.
They're not giving. Now, as Black people, yes, we definitely start off behind. You know what I mean?
Always.
And we are in a place now, and I feel like with our generation, it's a special generation because we're in a place now where we are starting to.
We want that information.
Yeah, we're creating generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, like, I feel like this was said to me, right? So I didn't particularly want kids, right? And it was crazy because this was said to me a few weeks ago. Somebody told me, somebody really close to me said, I've been watching you with your son. And they said, yeah, I don't think it's the fact that you didn't want him. I think it's the fact that you thought you was going to fail. And that touched me.
Oh.
Because it is that.
Parenting is a real job.
It is a real job. And so it doesn't just have to be parenting, right? It can also be taking care of like your brother. I had custody of my niece. It could be, cause like it's so many, as Black people, we consider people ours. It don't matter who they are.
We do.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll watch you take out the trash.
Yeah. Whether it's like a close friend, we become an auntie.
Yeah, you mind.
Yeah, so we want to make sure your village, part of having a village is making sure that they're able to take care of what you produce, whether it's child, like I said, your own child,
absolutely
or whomever. You don't want, I hear people like, oh, they're my child's godparents. So what can they do for your child?
What can I do for your child? Because as a godparent, when I transition, I think what it is you take that space. If family doesn't, then you step in.
Right.
That's what a godparent is.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to be around my children that could pour into them again, because we don't want our children. I don't want my kids to have the life I had.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's again, we want to put them in a space where they're not in survival mode.
Yeah.
Where you can actually, of course, focus on your education.
Yeah.
Focus on the things that are in front of you instead of worry about everything else.
And I agree. And I think that too, it's one or two things that can come from survival mode when you're growing up. Either you're going to stay in that mode or you're going to see better. That comes from being a product of your environment, whether you're raised off love or in survival mode, right?
Absolutely.
You become a product of your environment. And sometimes being raised off love is so many different things that can happen in your life. As growing up, that can help mold and shape you as an adult. And I just feel like, you know, you either, it's a choice. You choose to be this or you choose to be that. And you choose to give that. You know what I mean?
I do. But even being raised off love, right? We get out here. I didn't go to college. But people get out here and go to college and they be put in survival mode too.
Yes.
So it's like, even being raised off love, you still might experience survival mode.
You said a mouthful right there. Yeah. But and see, that's why I'm so adamant about giving him this knowledge. Because I went to college, you know what I mean? And I work in higher education now. And I see the struggle with babe. I see it. And it's disheartening to me because I'm like, gosh, we didn't have to worry about it as a generation.
No.
It's so much, and I mean, I understand that Gen Z gets such a bad rap, right? And some of it I wholeheartedly agree, and then some of it I can see the other side of it, right? Where it's like I see their transition from them becoming young adults, and them being in this space, and a lot of time, 9 times out of 10, they haven't been given the tools. I remember one of my babies, and listen, you answer me, Nancy. Anybody I ever had, I'm auntie. Like, you know what I mean? But I remember one of my babies one time, I told him what he needs to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, step by step. He called me on his way to do what he needs to do. And he was like, Miss B, can you just stay on the phone? I was like, yeah. They just, I think they're really just lack of direction with a lot of them.
I agree.
It's lack of direction. And it's not to talk about the parenting because they could have gave it to them, but this is a whole new world. Like you're dropping your child off at college.
And now they're about to start adulting.
Yeah. And if they didn't grow up around that environment, if they didn't grow up, and not too many kids can say that they have.
True.
Grown up on campus somewhere, seeing what life is like. And not too many children have the privilege to say that, right? So it's a whole different thing. Like you said, they go there and they're like, oh.
This is life. And life is like, welcome.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Yeah.
About to throw all these punches at you.
Because nobody can, and to this day, I will never forget, because I would advise freshman students. And their sophomore year, they'll transition out to another advisor. And I will always be there for them, but I will always tell them like it is. Like, it was no sugarcoating. I'm going to hold your hand, but I'm kind of push you out there so you can go see. You know what I mean?
So you want to enable them.
Right.
Because we're not going to always be present.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when I wasn't present, a lot of them will call me back and say, I thought you was being hard on me, but I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. I thought you was being hard on me, but I appreciate you because my new advisor is nothing like you were.
So I just heard something like this from my daughter. And if you're watching this, as teenagers, we was teenagers.
Yeah.
And when our parents tried to give us certain advice, we just felt like we knew it all
Mm-hmm.
until we was faced with the real world.
Yeah.
I used to tell my daddy all the time, I'm so sorry. I was
Yeah.
an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Dad, I ain't trying to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, And she's like, I ain't trying to make your head bigger than what it is. I was like, what? She's like, but you told me so.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
We guide our kids, again, so they won't be in survival mode. We're trying to drop these jewels on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because we done lived it. And like you said, just giving them the resources, educating ourselves to educate our kids.
Yeah.
Because what we pour into ourselves, we pour into our kids.
Yeah.
Y'all, that survival mode ain't where it's at.
It's not. And I mean, I'm not saying that I definitely teach him that life happens,
Yep.
He experiences life at his age, like we all have. You know what I'm saying? We've had to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
And we still having to grow up.
Yep. Tell my kids the same thing.
Yeah. So it's one of them things where it's just like, okay, well this is still happening. But if you got your mindset on a goal, like I'm literally giving him, he watches me, and that's why it's so important for us to be able to set be a positive role model for our kids. And be able to set those proper expectations so when they do grow up, it's second nature to them, because it's, oh, okay, this what I'm gonna do. Okay, I know I'm gonna have some hardships. This what I'm gonna do.
I was
Like,
a young mom, and I apologize to my oldest a lot. I was young, I didn't know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
A kid trying to raise a kid.
Well, I think too, you did and doing the best that you can do with what you have been given.
With what I have been given.
Yeah,
That
just
was tough.
like our parents. You know what I'm saying? Now, as we get older, we have to also understand that our parents did the best they could do with what they had. You know what I mean? We clearly have more now to understand different things. Even with your oldest, it was times we didn't have all this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We didn't have this knowledge. We didn't have all these tools out here. Especially when you coming from a small town, it's a lot of things that you didn't know.
I call it small town mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Or had the resources.
Right.
We did not have a lot of resources there.
Mm-hmm. Or if the resources were there, it just wasn't common.
Wasn't common, or wasn't it given to our community?
Yeah.
It was kept away from us.
Yeah.
The blacks.
Yeah. So we also have to learn how to give ourselves grace.
I'm working on that.
Yeah. That's
I be hard on myself all the time.
Mm-hmm. I think I've just transitioned from that mindset of being hard on myself, because I can be hard on myself, but what am I about to do about it?
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
I respect it.
I gotta do it.
Gotta do what gotta do.
Because I'm being hard on myself for the rest of my life.
That's true.
At what point we gonna do something about it? Okay, you hard on yourself because of XYZ. Write it down. Start with something simple. Because a win is a win.
A win is a win.
A win is a
I
win.
love to hear it.
So we have to be hard on yourself. Okay, that's fine. Well, write down why am I hard on myself. Boom, 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 boom. Let me fix this. This ain't easy right here. And then what's going to happen is the more complicated things will be easy because you're starting from something that's easier.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And that's just the space that I'm in right now. That's what I'm in.
That's a great space to be in.
Thank
I'm
you.
trying to get there.
Thank you. It's difficult. It's definitely a difficult space. However, it's important for us to be like, because I feel like I have gone through months of just like beating myself up or just being in a space where I know I need to do something, but okay, I know I need to do something about whatever it is, but when I'm gonna do something? Because me beat myself, I ain't doing nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. So do something about it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What is it? Yeah, survival mode.
Survival mode, y'all. Try to compartmentalize what you can. Try to control what you can.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get in a space where your mind won't be clouded and you can focus on what you would like to focus on.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Survival of the fittest. You know where we from? So, no, okay.
We're
Ma'am, we're not from there.
Well, no.